Well, hello everybody. This is Mike from Music City. Welcome to my latest installment of what I call Rankin' Records. And today we're going to get back to looking at my favorite records for a given year. If you've been following along, I started somewhere in the middle of where I am now. I believe I started in 78 and I started going in both directions. So I've been going up from 78 and down from 78. Last time I did 85. Now we're going in the other direction. I'm at 1972. And man, I did not know what I was in for when I started looking at 1972. I think it's a combination of, I listened to a lot of music back then, and man, it also is right up there now as one of the best, I think one of the best years in music. And certainly, I would say right now it's the second best year that I've covered so far, with 78 still being my favorite year. But 72 was just fantastic. And I'm going to do something that I haven't done heretofore. Is I've cheated a couple of times and did maybe 12 or records instead of 10. I'm going to do 20. And I had a hard time narrowing it down to 20 because I started with more than 20. I think I told you I go to look at the list in Wikipedia of everything released that year, and I start writing notes down. And I just kept writing and writing and writing and writing. And like I said, I was just blown away. And the funny thing was, I think I've told you this before, most of these records in 72, I was listening to on 8-track in my Pinto. So I had a lot of these on vinyl, and I went ahead and I picked up a couple of them on vinyl too as I've been record shopping lately. If you follow my looking for records videos, you'll see me picking up a couple of them. I think the other thing that I really want to mention to you that I think it's kind of fascinating is that when you go through these, you're going to find out that a lot of these records had hit singles on them. And I mean, and is that something that's just totally gone from music today? Is that any record that, serious music people really enjoyed as a hit record? I don't know that happens anymore. And I don't listen to the top 40. I've had the misfortune of hearing some really bad hit songs, and I just don't know that they're going to live up to where in 20, 30 years from now, somebody's going to be calling these classic records anyway. So, hey, that's a little bit of diversion, but let's get into it. Again, not only did I struggle with, well, I think I'm happy with the 20 that I picked, but I've changed the order a bunch of times. As we get closer to the top, the order is probably a little more reflective of how I feel about it. And again, I'm not trying to be Mr. Critic here. I'm trying to tell you what I enjoy, what I like. I don't listen to jazz, and I'm not too much into soul, although you see a soul record in here. So again, and I like to hear what you think as well too. So let's start off at the bottom with number 20, and that's the debut record by the Eagles. I guess there's no "the" in Eagles, but I think I've said this many times before. The Eagles' first 3 albums were great. After that, I kind of gave up on them, and I certainly. I have one video I did, bands that we learned to dislike, and they're certainly one of the bands that a lot of people have learned to dislike. But this first record was quite good, and very pivotal in the sort of almost maybe it's about around the peak time of the country rock movement. We've got "Take It Easy" on here, "Witchy Woman," "Peaceful Easy Feeling." Just a great stuff. The original band, of Fry, Henley, Meisner, and Ledden. I mean, that's Eagles to me. I just don't see Joe Walsh, Tim Smith as Eagles, even though I love those guys' music. But we'll number 20, we'll have the Eagles debut record. Now, number 19, a little bit of diversity in style here. I'd listened to a little bit of prog rock in the days, and this one is kind of, I'm going to call it prog rock, even though I don't think we labeled it that then. But number 19, "Thick as a Brick" by Jethro Tull. This is coming off of their 4th album, which was Aqualung, which is one of the first records that I ever fell in love with. Jethro Tull on the Aqualung tour was the first concert I ever saw, but this was the follow-up, and I think it was a very ambitious project, and I think it was a success. And if you're not familiar with this record, it's a continuous piece of music, only split up by the fact that you had to flip the record over. And it's a really nice, I was able to find the original album sleeve, which is a fold-out newspaper, which is really nice. I did also, I guess maybe 6-7 years ago, Ian Anderson, the leader of Jethro Tull, put out "Thick as a Brick 2," which I don't think I didn't find very interesting. But I did get to see him at the Ryman do a concert of Thick as a Brick 1 and Thick as a Brick 2, and I thought it was fabulous. So a very enjoyable record. I mean, for a long piece, there's a lot of great, memorable moments. I think it's a good work. Okay, continuing on with my prog rock mode. Number 18, I think probably my favorite prog rock band, without a doubt, is Yes. And this is their 1972 record, Close to the Edge, which is my favorite Yes record. And it's got, the title track is a great, great piece. There's also And You and I on this record. Great, great, great stuff. It's got to be one of their more simpler covers, though. They had those great Roger Dean covers. Yeah, Roger Dean did this one too, but not as elaborate as some of the other ones. And I think the thing about Yes, I know a lot of. I've got to learn. Not a lot. I've got to learn some musicians here in town, and they were a real musicians band. I mean, the guys were really great players, and you got the beautiful singing of John Anderson and Steve Howe on guitar. Chris Squire on bass, and this was the classic lineup too. Rick Wakeman, and I guess the drummer was Bill Bruford. Yeah, so this to me is my favorite Yes lineup, my favorite Yes record. Man, I really regret not seeing them back in the day. I did see them a few years ago here in town. They played at the Symphony Hall. Was Anderson, Wakeman, and Howe, and I thought the show was great. For somebody in his 70s, John Anderson still sounds beautiful. But this is my go-to Yes record. Okay, so number 17. This was a record I really liked when it came out, and it really was, in a lot of respects, my big entry point to this great artist, Van Morrison, with St. Dominic's Preview. And I think that what really got me on this record, I really, really liked the song Jackie Wilson Said. I think it's just a beautiful, catchy, great pop song. Strangely enough, one of my favorite artists, Elvis Costello, would do that live in his shows back in later in '89. But it's also got the great Almost Independence Day. I just think it's a great record from Van. Like I said, was probably my entry point to Van to go back and discover his catalog, and I still think this one holds up very well today. Number 16. Now this one may be a surprise for you. It's got a song on here that I'm sure a lot of people don't like, but long as Messina's second record, okay, you're going to make fun of me. I don't want to hear Your Mama Don't Dance. Well, hey, it was a fun pop song. Got to play it on the radio, but man, go ahead and put on that great, great extended jam of Angry Eyes. What a fantastic song. I thought these two were great together. Their first two albums were good. The third album wasn't not so good, and it was kind of, to me, sort of like the Eagles. They kind of went downhill from here. Maybe went a little bit to a middle of the road sound for me. Then they both went their separate ways, and I didn't really care for their careers too much back then. But this is a great record. I really enjoy it, and I love listening to that Angry Eyes. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Check it out. Okay, I can't keep count here. Number 15. Now, this is one of my favorite bands, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's not one of my favorite albums by them, but I still think nonetheless, with some of the great songs on it, it deserves to be in this top 20. And that's Steely Dan's Can't Buy a Thrill. I mean, it has Do It Again and Reelin' in the Years on it, just probably two of the best top 40 hits of all time. It's also got Midnight Cruiser on there, Dirty Work, a song that Donald Fagen didn't sing. Great album, but I certainly think that the Dan got much better with their later albums, maybe a little more subversive in the things that they were writing about. But again, this is a worthy record of 1972, that's for sure. Number 14, again, a record I loved back then and I love to go back to, and that's Rod Stewart's Never a Dull Moment. I don't know if you remember back then, he would alternate his records. He was on he was on Mercury, and then he would do an album with the Faces on Warner Brothers and vice versa, so they'd go back and forth. And this was one of his solo records on Mercury, and just a classic record. It's got You Wear It Well, just one of the great rock songs I think that he and the Faces have ever done together. And I also love Angel. What a beautiful version of that song. Jimi Hendrix song, isn't it? Yes. So that's number 14. Now, number 13, this guy was on such a hot streak. Everything he did was great. And I think this is this is one of his finer albums. Again, there's just so much this year that I had to put ahead of it. But number 13, Elton John's Honky Chateau. Just him and Bernie were really doing some great stuff together. Honky Cat, Rocket Man, Mona Lisa's in Manhattan is probably the real hidden gem on this record. Good stuff from Elton. Still was pretty, you know, look at that beard. He was still a little, little less flashy than he became back then. Great, great, great stuff. Now, number 12, and this is a real surprise to me, and I'm going to confess to something here. And the record is Talking Book by Stevie Wonder. What a fantastic record. Superstition. Do we need to say anything more? You're the sunshine of my life. Do we need to say anything more? You know, the thing with this record, I really did not listen to it a lot in 1972. You know, I knew of Stevie Wonder, and he had things prior to this that were, you know, we heard on AM radio. Of course, we heard You Were a Sunshine of My Life, but I got to be honest with you, progressive radio in New York City, they didn't play a lot of Stevie Wonder. And I think, I'm going to tell you a story. What really brought this attention to me was a friend of mine went to see the Rolling Stones at the Garden in 72 and said, hey, man, Stevie Wonder just was amazing and blew the Stones away. And it forced me to listen to this. And I really liked it. I liked Intervisions too, which I believe is the follow-up record. So good record from Stevie. Number 12? I can't count. Come on, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Yeah, 11. Randy Newman's Sail Away. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic record. Not so much into it in 72 as I later became. I think this is his masterpiece. That song, Sail Away. If you don't know it, check it out. It is his masterpiece. And also, if we look at this, he had Lonely at the top. He Gives Us All This Love. Political Science. You Can Leave Your Hat On. Wow. I'm still glad that Randy is still doing great, poignant music today. This is definitely one that you need to check out. So let's see, where are we now on this countdown? We're at to number 10. Now, number 10, okay, this is a guilty pleasure. I don't know that this would make a lot of other people's top 10, but it very well could be the record that I listened to most that year. But then on reflection, yeah, it probably wasn't as great as some of the other ones, but Poco's Good Feeling to Know record, just a really important record for me. Just made me really fall in love with Poco. The title track, one of my favorite all-time songs, you know, the song Good Feeling to Know. He revisits Go and Say Goodbye. When I say he, I mean Richie Furay, goes and revisits a song he did at the Springfield, Go and Say Goodbye. Just Timothy Schmidt did the great Restrain Yourself. Paul Cotton did Ride the Country. Great band, great moment for them. I fell in love with the band then. They put out one more record before Richie left, and I'm really excited to say that I did get to see this band, you know, I think 3 times before Richie left. So that's number 10. Now number 9, kind of still staying in this, maybe in the country rock vein, but God, how could we ignore this record? It's probably a record that everybody owned that year. Neil Young's Harvest, just a great record. We all know all over the radio was Heart of Gold. You know, we look, you know, I'm just kind of looking at what else was on there. Oh gosh, Out in the Country, A Man Needs a Maid, Are You Ready for the Country, Old Man, The Needle and the Damage Done, which by the way is a live version from Royce Hall at UCLA. Just a great record. You know, I'll be honest, there's a lot of Neil records I put ahead of this, but definitely one of the best records of 1972. All right, now we get to number 8, and this again was a guilty pleasure, just a record that meant a lot to me back in the year because I discovered the band through this record and saw them live and just thought they were fantastic. And that's Everybody's in Showbiz by the Kinks. Double record set, 1 studio, 1 live. You know, I don't do live albums, I do those separately, but we're talking about the studio stuff here, and it's got one of the, in my opinion, you know, just a timeless classic song. Well, maybe it's not so timeless, it's kind of dated in what its topic, but Celluloid Heroes, you know, the song where the line Everybody's in Showbiz comes from, just a beautiful song. Ray Davies, that is just pure lyrical genius. I always love Here Comes Yet Another Day, Supersonic Rocket Ship. Again, probably not my favorite Kinks album, but man, one that I really played a lot that year and really enjoyed. The shows were fabulous around then. You know, Ray was just fun and silly and crazy and zany, and you hear a lot on that live record that's on here too as well. Okay, so now we're getting down to number 7. Oh gosh, and now here's a record that's just got 3 absolute classic songs on it. It's a double record set, which, back then, well, anytime you do a double record set, that's solid. It's a feat of work. But Todd Rundgren's Something Anything, and the 3 songs we're talking about, I Saw the Light, Hello It's Me, and one song that's in my Power Pop Top 10, Couldn't I Just Tell You? Just amazing. This is just a great record from start to finish. I really didn't see Todd around this time. It was maybe about 6 or 7 years ago later that I saw him, and I got to hear him do these songs, and it's just great. And Todd's just he's a wizard, right? That's the word he liked to use in one of his album titles, and just knew his way around the studio, knew how to do a great solid record like this. Number 6, and this was a record that I really played a lot that year, and that's why it's here. Not only why it's here, because it is a great album too, and that's the debut solo record by Paul Simon. Remember those jackets? Didn't every one of us have one of those jackets in 1972? I certainly did. But anyway, I digress. Hit songs galore. Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard, Mother and Child Reunion. Duncan was one of my favorite songs off of that record. Peace Like a River. It was just a great record. It really showed, Paul's talents as a singer, songwriter. Yeah, we all missed Artie and everything, but, that's another story. Just a great record and a start of a fantastic solo career for Mr. Simon. I remember getting on the subway to New York City to go buy this on 8-track tape at EJ Corvette's on 33rd Street. So you would get out of the subway and take the elevator right up to the record floor. I digress. We got 5 to go. Now this one is a little bit of maybe a little bit of surprise to you, but again, one of the records I could not stop playing in 1972. An artist that I love, who I really, as much work as he put out, I only think that there's 2 great records in his canon, and that's Mark Bolan and T-Rex. The record is called The Slider. Great cover photo by Ringo Starr, by the way. I just love this record. It's got so many great songs that, weren't very popular here. Got a lot of airplay in the UK. Mental Guru, Spaceball, Ricochet, Telegram Sam was a big hit over the UK. I just adored this record. I got to see Bolan, a couple of years after this, and I was really glad that I did. It was shortly before he had his tragic automobile accident, but again, put this record on it. I really think you'll dig it if you're not familiar with this one. The previous record with that was Electric Warrior, which I think had better strong songs. I mean, of course, we've got on that record you had Bang a Gong and Jeepster, which I think are just tremendous songs. But I think song for song, I think The Slider is a much more solid, consistent record. Okay, we got 4 to go. Number 4, again, a record I played a lot, and an artist who, once I got over my love of Jethro Tull, I really was totally freaked out over this artist. He was my favorite, and that's Jackson Browne. And here's a little Japanese pressing here of his debut album, which most people call Jackson Browne, but it does say Saturate before using. I've seen some people use that as a title. I don't think that was the case. But just a great, great record. It's got so many classic Jackson songs on here. Jamaica's Say You Will, Something Fine, Rock Me on the Water, which was a radio hit too for him. Again, a start of a great career. And again, sort of like his buddies, the Eagles, it was the first 3 records that I really loved. And kind of from then on, I just wasn't so consistently impressed with his catalog. Number 3, oh gosh, classic. Without a doubt, a classic. My only regret is I didn't see this live show. David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders from Mars, Klaxon at number 3 from 1972. I mean, what more do I need to say? Suffragette City, the song that he gave to Mata Hoople and they rejected to get all the young dudes. You know the songs. 5 Years, Moon Age Daydream, Starman, just a great record. Very, trend-setting, yeah. I mean, it just really, helped contribute to bring, theater into rock and roll, and, staging, and the tour was just, I've seen the videos, fantastic. I wish I could have been there. But again, this is just a great one to listen to from start to finish. Number 2, and again, okay, this is a little bit revisionist history. I didn't hear this record in 1972, and where I live, nobody did. It was one of the worst record releases in history in terms of getting the records in the store and getting promotion. But to me, it is just an amazing record, one of my favorite records of all time, and possibly one of the most influential records in the stack of 20 we looked at, and that's Big Star, #1 record. Alex Chilton, Chris Bell, Andy Hummel, Jody Stevens. Sadly, only Jody is the only surviving member of Big Star. You know, power pop, you know, in my Baby's Beside Me, and, you know, In the Street, ballads like 13 and the Ballad of El Goodo. Just a fantastic record. The two, well, there were some other records issued, but the first 2 Big Star records are fantastic, just in Radio City. If you don't have them, get them. You can find a CD with both of them on it. They are amazing. They are brilliant. Love the album cover. I love everything about it. I did get to see Big Star in their later years when the guys from the Posies joined, Stringfellow and John Auer had joined up with Jody and Alex, and I really, just a big thrill to get to do that. But I love this record, and it's number 2, and it could have been easily been #1 had not one of the greatest records of all time come out in 1972. Very likely right up there with the White Album and The River, the greatest 2-record set ever issued, and that is the Rolling Stones' masterpiece called Exile on Main Street. I mean, I think you knew this was coming. What a great record. It's just a record to easily get lost in. There's just some great rock and roll on here. There's some great country. There's some great blues. You know, they need to make a feature film about the recording of this record. You know, they were in Paris, in France, and Graham Parsons was with them. All of the stories, and you know, I'm not even going to go and name songs. I think you know them all, but definitely one of my favorite albums of all time, and in my opinion, the best album in 1972. So that took a long time to do. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It was great. I'm gonna keep these records out, and I know I'm gonna be playing them for quite some time. So it was a tough ride to get here, but I finally like how my top 20 came out. So hey, thanks for listening. Next up, we're gonna jump to 1986. I've got a couple of artists I'm gonna squeeze into as well. We're gonna keep shopping at record stores. I love to do my series called Great Forgotten Records. So check out the Music City Mike channel and all the stuff we've got on there. We post a video every day for you to watch from TV, a live video. I'm just trying to get content here. Hit the like button, hit the share with your friends button, and please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe. I'm up to 926 subscribers, or 927 actually. I got one early a few minutes ago. I'm on my goal to hit 1,000. We'll see what happens when they hit 1,000. They say things happen from there. You know, it'll get more attention. I just want people to know this channel. That's all I'm looking for. But again, hey, thanks so much. And this is Mike from Music City signing off.